What does Psalms 46:5 mean to you?
Psalms 46:5.
Meet Tyler Williamson, HBCU college student, motivational speaker, super awesome person, and a woman of God. I asked her about her Psalms 46:5 because she has that chapter and verse listed in her Instagram bio. And I'm a curious cat.
It gives me encouragement, definitely. And I know that with God on my side, I can't lose. And I feel that as a young person, it's great to know that. And it's great to have that comfort, because when you feel like everyone else is against you and you have like nobody to turn to, God is always the person that's right there. And it's crazy the way God can comfort you and you feel him because you can't see him. So to feel a spirit, to feel a weight of just a blanket, like with somebody that you can't see, and get that comfort and that reassurance and just that strength where your help comes from, that's very encouraging and just like ensuring as a young person, you really need that.
Hey Cleveland, I'm Deante, and I'm speaking to you.
Lived in Cleveland Heights all my life, but my family lives in East Cleveland and St. Clair, different places like that. So I naturally, with my cousins, I know I'm the suburban one, but I mean, not really, because 5 minutes I'm in East Cleveland. So I live at the end of Cleveland Heights, but 5 minutes the other way, you're in East Cleveland. You see some of the same things. I mean, I'm going to the same school that you're going to, so we're facing with the same, problems and confrontations. But honestly, it's about having a moral compass, I think.
You know what I love most about Tyler is how grounded she is, which tells me that she was raised the right way. She came to my attention when I saw her as the featured speaker at a church. I was mesmerized by her confidence and her intelligence, and she's only 20.
You were supposed to go this way, but you went that way, so it's in spite of. I know that you lied, but it's in spite of. I know that you cheated, but it's in spite of. I know you did drugs, but it's in spite of. I know you got pregnant, but it's in spite of. I know that you went this way, but it's in spite of. Whatever you do, he chooses you in spite of. And that's exactly what he did with David.
And when you're raised up a certain way, you know how to face certain battles. And I feel that you have to have something. So even if you're not religious or even if you're not spiritual, just having something to look up to that is higher than yourself, because you can't do it alone. And where do you turn? Like who is going to be that God for you is what I think is important to know. Like where are you actually getting your help from, or what are you doing that's not just you, that's not just man-made? So I think that's important. And I think that youth today think that it's not cool to like believe in something else, or they think like it's just like not the thing to do, but really nobody knows the thing. Like you have to make it your thing.
When I met Tyler at Wayne Dawson's church, it was so refreshing to see the support that she had with her family being there. It's a reminder that having cheerleaders matter.
What year did you graduate high school?
2020, so pandemic year.
Oh man, you know what? That's interesting, because I know the pandemic, it just completely wreaked havoc on so many proms and everything else. What is your experience with that?
I was class president all 4 years, and for a senior year, our school was just very they were strict, but most of all, we were just professional. So we weren't allowed to decorate our caps, but we had a drive-through graduation. So they allowed us to decorate our caps. We had balloons, cars. They tried to make it the best they could. Obviously, we're a little envious now that, things kind of calm down and kids get to walk the stage, but we couldn't help the time that it came in. So I'm just grateful for the experiences that we did have. We did have senior picture day, breakfast, but we didn't get all into our festivities. We did not have a prom either, so I just ended up doing a photo shoot to wear the prom dress.
I love Tyler's perspective on the whole pandemic situation, wiping out her graduation, her prom, all the cool things that we work our whole school career. Well, I didn't. I failed the 12th grade twice, but most of us, we work our whole school career to be a part of.
I was a debutante at the cotillion, at the Delta Cotillion. That takes place in Lander Haven. So that was like my prom because I danced, I had a dress on, my friends and family were there. So that was kind of like my prom because that happened the month before the world shut down. So I was just, I was grateful that I had some sense, and Lander Haven would have been where my prom would have been. So
wow, so you don't really feel a sense of loss where it lingered maybe in the moment, or do you still feel a little frustrated?
It's so funny that people ask me this because I'm like, I should be over this by now, like being a junior in college, but I'm really not. Like sometimes when I see proms or graduations, I'm like, oh, dang, that I didn't get that. I didn't get to like say anything. I didn't get to, you know, be with my class one final time or walk through or anything. Just stuff that you wait on your whole like high school career because that's like your peak time. So sometimes I'm like, dang, you know, but it's also, it just wasn't, you know, it just wasn't meant. And I think I'm a true person of just like things happening for a reason. So, I mean, it happened. It wasn't meant for our class, but like we have college graduation to look forward to, and that's the good stuff. I want you all to listen to this man and listen to his news series, his news series at that. And he's doing great things in the community, in the Cleveland community, and he's gonna take us to the next level, which is what Cleveland needs to see. We need a lot more positivity around here than we already have, and just to keep inspiring people, and that's exactly what he's doing. And he's speaking to Cleveland through all of us. So support this great man of God.
I failed the 12th grade, not once, but twice.
Okay.
And,
it's okay.
and I never graduated. And everyone that meets me now, they're just like, oh, you got all these grades. I bet you got good grades. I'm like, no, my GPA was 1.7. So obviously I know yours is nothing like that. So here's my question. What was it that drove you to want to go to college? Because I had no desire to do that.
Right. Well, okay, this is like really funny and I never told anyone this, I don't think, like out loud. Like I think everybody, when I said it, was thinking I was joking, but I was like, I'm like depressed. Like when the world shut down, that was our senior year. Like it felt like everything was being taken away from us that we waited so long to get. And so it was really hard to like think about the future when you felt like your right now wasn't there. So applying for college was hard for me because it's like I didn't want to go anywhere. I felt like I didn't accomplish anything for real to even do that. But I wanted to go to a HBCU since I was in the 8th grade. Like they came to our school and you know, they had the chance. They told us the majors that they had. Then you have the dancing, you had the culture, you had things that you were never experienced, like the things you just saw on TV. And even though, you know, drumline is not school, you were like, well, I want to go to school like drumline. Like I want to be like Nick Cannon. But it was just like, I was just attracted to everything that they had. And I was like, and you get your education. Like you can be yourself and be with your people and see representation and feel free and also be educated.
And now a word from Pastor Wayne Dawson.
Hopefully somebody here still thinks that the best is yet to come. Amen. Amen. See, the enemy, we know what the enemy, he wants to confuse us. He's going to attack us. Amen. He attacked me last night. I was sitting at the game, amen, watching my grandson, and the enemy attacked me. I'm like, Lord, Lord, Lord. But he that is in me is greater than he is in the world. Amen. See, the enemy's going to attack you. Why? Because his mission is to steal, kill, and destroy. And when God has carved out something for you to do, if he's got a call on your life, you better get ready because he's going to attack you. And he's going to do it through your thought process sometimes. Amen. Make you feel you ain't good enough. I can't do it. I don't have what it takes. Once again, the negative thoughts are the enemy's way of knocking you off course. He wants to kill your dreams, church. He does. He wants to steal your joy. Amen. Tried to steal my joy last night. Amen. But I said the devil is a liar. Amen. Even though my grandson lost the game last night, amen, and my family was going crazy, amen, and I said, well, let me sneak on out of here. I don't even know who they are, you know?
I think once I discovered HBCU life, that like ignited a fire of like, you can do this, you can do something else, and you can be different. Even like with all the stigma about it, it still just made me want to go even more. So after graduating, even though not graduating in a traditional way, I still did it. I still achieved something. So that made me want to start putting in applications and stuff like that. And so,
did you ever, I know you're way too young to have seen this live, but did you ever see the TV show A Different World that takes place at Hillman College?
Yes, I've
fictional
seen
Hillman College. Did that ever inspire you at all?
It's so funny because my dad loves that show. It inspired me to just like bask in it, I guess, because I knew I wanted to go there. And in 8th grade I wasn't watching A Different World, but in high school, I started knowing what it was. But I think it just made me like bask in it. I think like just seeing like their lifestyle and seeing that's what mine could look like. Like it just made me like accept the fact that if somebody did ask me where I was going, I wouldn't be afraid to say HBCU, because why is a HBCU deemed down upon than a PWI? So I think me knowing the difference of I'm still getting my education just in a different way shouldn't be me not saying that I'm not getting it at all.
Wow. I think that's amazing. You have not met a Dwayne Wayne character at school?
No,
Okay,
I have not.
For those of you who don't know, PWI stands for Predominantly White Institution. HBCU stands for Historically Black College or University. I love how Tyler just really has this determination to overcome whatever people's perceptions are or whatever their opinions are. And I just think you have to, if you want to be something great in this world, you have to kind of have that resilience, that thick skin, and that determination. But her level of intelligence is off the charts.
I really like the whole idea of the HBCUs, and I know you have so many of these schools that are legendary. Well, the shirt you have on it says Clark Atlanta University. Is that where you go?
Yes, that's where I go.
Oh, what are you? You're a freshman year or what?
No, I'm junior.
Junior. So wow, that's impressive. So what has been your experience with this whole thing?
So I transferred. So Clark Atlanta isn't my first institution. My first institution was Johnson C. Smith University in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I committed early, so I wasn't even thinking about Johnson C. Smith. My counselor, my guidance counselor at school just was like, hey, I think this will really be good for you. It's like a nice fit. They're a small private HBCU. I think you'll love it there. I went to visit, absolutely fell in love. I committed that day after they like looked over everything, and they were like, oh yeah, we would accept you, and we would, this is how much and all that. And so I really fell in love with it. But I think the problem was for me when everything kind of like fell down and we had to start online. I just felt like I felt like it wasn't gonna click when I got back on campus. And when I did my summer internship in North Carolina, and I would just like be driving around the city and like kind of looking around, I was just like, I don't know if this is where I want to be right now. And it wasn't because, like, it was online. It wasn't much they could do. Like, it wasn't their fault. It was just me not really feeling it like how I knew I would feel it on campus. But then being in their city alone, I was like, I don't know. Like, this is not my speed. I don't know if I'm going to, like, make it here. I just had to reevaluate for myself, like, where am I going to go next? And it ended up being Clark Atlanta University. So I've been here ever since, and I'm doing good.
That is impressive. What's your grades like?
They're good. I got a 3.8 last semester. I finally made the dean's list. I've been trying to make the dean's list the whole time. So
oh my God.
I finally made it. But it's hard. I think people go away from college because they think like it's not like high school. You're not going to have people telling you to do something like do your homework, turn this and do that. And it's very self-paced and based. Like you have to be your own calendar, your reminder. Like you have to be all of those things for yourself. And at first it is very overwhelming because you've never done it before. But I think the only way you get better is through practice. So like practice doesn't make perfect. It just makes room for improvement. So I feel like you have to keep going to figure out where you're gonna go. And I just knew that I'm not an entrepreneur. All my family members are great at their businesses, but I'm just not I can't see myself running my own business or brand. So I think once you find your niche, that's when you go to school, when you know that you found something that you like and you want to perfect the craft. Because I think a lot of times everyone thinks like, oh, I have to go to school right now, straight out the gate, when that's not how it has to be.
Yeah.
So you can take time to figure it out.
Preach, girl. Preach. We need you.
Now I have to ask you, this public speaking thing that you do, you are already a professional.
No way.
I mean, like seriously. I mean, I was mesmerized. I was blown away, and you made me say, "Oh, I got to do a whole lot more practicing just to get to her on her worst
No,
day."
thank you.
If it's not matching your situation, or if you're not going through what I'm saying, I just wanted to encourage you. If anything I said today, I just wanted to encourage you and heighten your perspective on your faith journey. That's what I want for you.
How did you develop that? Because it has to come from somewhere. It doesn't just come out of nowhere.
Right. That's crazy that you said that, because I don't know. I can't tell you, because for a long time, like, people would just tell you, this is your gift, this is your calling. I never felt that way about it until, like, something just inside me just says, you can do this. Like, you deserve to be on this platform, or you deserve to speak, or you deserve to have your voice heard, and then you deserve to advocate for other people.
Before I speak, me and my sister are a duo, and she, raised in the church all her life, she has always had a gift for singing, and she's just really, she's a little nervous, she's a little shy, but she has just such a fire for God, and she always just does whatever she does it for him. So she wanted to sing for me this morning. So just, Grace fam, just show her that you love her, and she's going to come up
Because people choose you because they know that they need help doing it themselves. So I feel like, how could I let other people down that are counting on me to be that voice for them if I'm not comfortable in my own voice? So that's when I just started, talking on a regular, doing things, doing speaking engagements, just to get comfortable being on that type of platform. Because every once in a while, you're going to have something to say, and it's going to be important, and you need to make sure that you're ready for whatever, it will be like, I guess.
What is your preparation when you're preparing to do a speaking engagement?
Well, for like a lot of my life, I've never done like ceremonies per se, or like other things like that. I mean, I've grown up in the church. A lot of my talks have been in the church, sermonettes, little things like that. I just pray. I pray about what I'm gonna say, and not what I think people want to hear, but what I know I need to hear, and hopefully that it's just encouraging to someone else. Because I'm really never going to know what people need or what they feel. I just have to hope that whatever I say, it encourages them, and they can relay it back to their life and their situations.
Wow, preach, man, preach. I swear, you're going to, ironically, you're going to have a lot of people go into a new direction and become speakers themselves because... when they see how proficient you are, and I just love it.
Thank you.
Preach, girl. Preach. We need you.
What's your biggest challenge in college?
Right now, God just made a way for that too. Before, it was a financial burden of just figuring out, will I be able to go back to campus? Because with you being an upperclassman, you have to make room for the freshmen, so you might not get housing on campus, which it is easier to be on campus, but I had to go off campus, figure out affordable housing for the whole year, like affordable rent that I could upkeep, and then also making sure it's not too far away from campus so I can get there every day for class, and then buying materials for class. I needed a new laptop, I needed a new this, a new that, and I felt like it was all piling up on me at one time. But out of no way, there's a way, and God made a way. So I feel like just because you're in college, like it's you're gonna go through different phases in your life, and just because you believe in something doesn't mean it's less hard for you. It just means that you have that faith to back it up. And I just remember knowing that I wanted to not go to college and change. Like, I kept asking God to just keep me myself, like keep me the way I've always was, like just praying for his guidance, for that people would just be attracted to me for my authentic self, and me not feeling like I have to change to fit in, because fitting in is so real. Like, it doesn't, like, you don't grow out of wanting to be in not the in crowd per se, but like you don't grow out of wanting to befriend, like wanting to have friends or wanting people to like you. I don't think you ever grow out of that, because you're always worried about, do they like me, or whether, like, will I be accepted, what will happen. And I just pray that God would send me those people that will like me for me and love me for who I am, and I don't have to alter anything. So I think in college, my biggest challenge was keeping to myself, remaining my true self, and like allowing my life to show, like, even though I believe in this, that doesn't make me any different from doing the things that you like to do, or, you know, having fun. Like, you can still have a faith and still be yourself. And I think people sometimes overlook that they think, like, once you get saved or once you commit to God or commit to any religion, you have to change every being of who you are, when in reality you're just embracing the faith, and you're just like having a sense of a higher self, not changing yourself.
What is your major?
Mass media arts.
Mass media arts. So what is the next 5 years looking like for you after, once you get out of, because you have like another year or two years?
I have 2. Yeah.
So really, you have 3 years after you get out. So the next 5 years, in your mind, what does that look like?
Hopefully that's looking like working for CNN or ABC, just being the storyteller for the people, being their public service announcement, just to be able to present the news, present the stories, captivate people, give them the most up-to-date information. I think just getting on the platform that, I've always dreamed of being on, that's the goal. So the goal is to know, who to know to get there, I think. And just networking and just making a name for myself, making a brand, and just trying to establish some roots into the field.
I had no idea that you were. So you kind of want to be like a journalist, broadcaster, or
yes,
national?
Nationally, yes.
Oh, wow.
National world news. If I could do that, that would be great. But also taking some journalism courses too, because even if you can't say them, you can write them. You can write the stories, and broadcasting, and just looking at all the sides of media that you can play into. Like, you can also do background things as well that can help with the overall story. So anywhere in between that I could fit in, I would love to do it.
So you just sprinkle some fairy dust on me, because you just made me important, because when you're doing that and you're big time and all that kind of stuff, I'm gonna say, guess who I interviewed when she was in college, before the world got to know her. This is who I was able to talk to on that level. So you just made me important. You gave me a reason to be around. Thank you.
When it comes to Tyler Williamson, I have absolute certainty that she is going to be a massive star, because she is dedicated, her head is on right, and she just wants to help people. So Tyler, I salute you, and thank you so much for gracing me with your presence.
The last question is, what advice would you give to young people that want to follow either in your footsteps or just follow their own path, and they are a little insecure about doing so and they don't think they can do it?
That's a good question. I think you have to listen to yourself above all, because no matter whose opinion it is, it's your life. And you have to be happy with it at the end of the day. You have to know that you did what was best for you and what you thought was right, and you have to feel confident in your choice. I've never been one of regret. I've never regret anything I've done. I just take that as if it didn't go my way, it was a lesson, and if it did, like, it was a good thing. Like, I don't ever want to feel insecure in my options. And a lot of the times, especially when I decided to go to a HBCU, a lot of people told me, like, you're not going to make it, that those never work. Like, I don't know why people think that HBCUs are not as up to par as PWIs. Like, I don't know why people differentiate the two as if it's not a college or university. We're still an institution that gets the same education as a PWI does. And I think, like, when people compare the two, it kind of they just mix up everything else but the experience. The experience is why people chose to go to HBCUs, not the education, because you can get your education at any institution because it's state of the art. Like, that's why you go to higher education, higher learning, because you're getting more education. So I think that you have to follow yourself, stay true to your heart, and just believe in the decisions that you make, and believe that it's what's best for you. And then keep the faith all the way throughout. Like, keep the faith in knowing that you can do it, you will finish, and you're gonna accomplish whatever you want to.